regards to that, Lost Records starts off with an interesting premise. A group of friends who haven't met each other since the summer of 1995 have received a mysterious package referencing that summer and threatening them. So they want to get together in the present day to not only try to remember and reminisce what happened during the summer, but try to figure out what this package could possibly be. Okay? That's interesting. I like that premise, right? But then what's happened is with the game, Lost Records, along the way, they lost the idea that a video game is supposed to be fun and also is supposed to be a fantasy setting. And here's what I mean by that, all right? Yesterday, I played Lost Records, and I shit you not, out of the almost 3 hours that I played it, about 2 hours and 45 minutes was spent doing the most menial, commonplace, trite, boring shit that I've ever done in a video game. To the point where I'm not kidding, I was falling asleep trying to play it because it was so uninteresting. You are in a garage with your friends who are just dicking around, pretending like they know how to play music when they really don't. It sucks. Great. Did anything happen? No. We wasted like an hour doing that. Then you go to the forest and you walk around the forest and you're just talking and nothing happens the entire fucking time you're in the forest. And in fact, here's the thing that's different between a previous Don't Nod game in Life is Strange versus Lost Records, okay? In Life is Strange, yes, you have menial, trite happenings. You're a kid at a school, a boarding school, and there's all these kind of teenage things happening, teenage angst relationships and commonplace, happenings and conversations. But then things get serious. One of the students commits suicide, and you're wondering why. You realize you have time manipulation powers like you're an X-Man, okay? And you're using these to save lives, to stop violence, to manipulate the timeline, and find out what's actually going on at your school with this murder mystery. Everything I just described is fantastical. It's not realistic. It's not common. It's interesting because it's not something that you could really do in real life. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you need to play a video game to experience. And that's what makes Life is Strange unique, okay? Lost Records has you walking through a forest, okay? And you're doing nothing. You're not even doing anything that's meaningful to the people there. You're literally just killing time in the forest. And in fact, to simulate gameplay, they have the main character, Swan, using her camcorder to try to document things in the forest. So she's filming the wildlife. She's trying to film a nature scene and this and that. And that, okay, I get it. But if that's the case, right? Why don't they just have you do that instead of the guise that this is like a game, just have you go around and it could be Pokemon Snap. Like, to be fair, I actually think the game would be better if it were Pokemon Snap. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that they're trying to hide that the game is an incredibly boring plotline behind Pokemon Snap gameplay is kind of laughable. I almost wonder, did they make this game without the camcorder first? And it was so fucking boring that then they went back and retooled it to add the camcorder in to say, here's gameplay? Because without the camcorder, I don't think anyone could actually stay conscious during the game. It's actually that boring. Like, it was such a shame because it started off with an interesting premise in the first stream I did. And then yesterday, I was so fucking bored because nothing happened. And here's the funny part. 2.5 hours I'm playing this, right? Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. And then finally, in the last like 10, 15 minutes, something happens. They found a cabin in the woods. It was rickety. It was old. There were weird symbols all over it. And it's very comparative to like the Blair Witch Project and stuff like that. Like, oh, this is cool. Where's this going? Well, it lasted 15 minutes, the segment, and then it ended, and I ran out of time and couldn't complete or continue with the stream. So very well, some interesting stuff could actually happen. And in fact, some people have confirmed it will. Like the next stream, which will be my final stream of Lost Records, will actually have interesting stuff happening. They basically crammed it all into the very tail end of this game. But why on earth they thought it was a good idea to actually have 2.5 hours of absolutely nothing meaningful happening, I have no idea. So as I'm saying, the reason that video games are interesting is because you're doing something in a game you couldn't necessarily do in real life, and it translates to something fun. In real life, you could get together with your friends in a garage right now and pretend like you're a garage band and play horrible music. You could literally go to the woods and walk around and do absolutely nothing. You could do that right now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a video game to simulate that. Those are realistic actions, right? Like, imagine you bought a game and it was Making Lunch Simulator. And all it is you walk into a kitchen, you open your fridge, you grab ingredients like lunch meat, cheese, condiments, bread. Then you sit down at a table and you have plates and you set out the ingredients and you butter the bread and you do this, you make the sandwich, right? There you go. And then that's it. Once you're done, it's over. That's it. You win. Game over. Would you buy that game? Or would you actually go to your real life kitchen and just do it? because then you'll actually have a real sandwich to eat at the end. You didn't pay money to do it, and you didn't waste your time. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you want to do those things that you're doing in Lost Records, you could just do them in real life, and you could actually have something meaningful come out of it. You could actually have friends and spend time with them and have a relationship that's ongoing that could benefit you. You don't need a video game to simulate mundane things that you could do in your real life. And in fact, I'm going to go as far to say, I actually think a game like this can be harmful because what happens is this is normalizing making a virtual situation for something that you should be doing in person for real, right? Do you think it's healthier to have simulated friends that you hang out with in Lost Records and do menial things with? Or should you actually go get those real friends? You see my point? Like, there's a difference between, oh, I'm teaming up with people to save the universe from a fantastical race of alien invaders that want to kill us all, or we're walking through the forest doing nothing. You get to a point where it's like, why does this even exist? Right? Like, why was the game made? Does it even serve a purpose? I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. Does a game like this actually serve some kind of like a concrete purpose? I'm not sure because I hope it would. But my question is, who's asking for it? Right? Like, oh, maybe there are a group of teenage girls out there who are, you know, lesbians or whatever, bisexually curious, and they would like this game. Yeah, but wouldn't they want to just go spend time with their actual friends? Like, why would they want to play a video game of it? I'm just saying, you know? And I feel like every other game I've played that Don't Nod has made, right? Vampire, it's about vampires, whatever, right? Banisher, I didn't play that one, but that one's about like ghosts and souls. Life is Strange, the character has time manipulation powers. Life is Strange 2, the son is like super strength and speed and shit, right? I keep going where every one of their games has made more sense than this. This game actually doesn't make sense at all from a mainstream perspective. Maybe there is an incredibly small percentile of people, all right, who can't make real friends, who can't leave their house. I don't know, maybe they're paraplegics or something, right? And therefore, this life simulator game, you know what I mean, is that's what the purpose it serves. But that's an incredibly small customer base. For the rest of us, we go into this thinking, oh, it's a narrative-based game from Don't Nod, so it's going to have some interesting fantasy aspects to it that we're going to enjoy. And you play it, you're like, what the fuck am I playing? What did they make? Did they not understand the premise of a video game? I played Mario Brothers because in real life, I can't become a plumber that can jump 40 feet in the air and stomp on mutant turtles and living mushrooms. Okay? I play Gran Turismo because in real life, I can't afford to buy a high-end crazy racer car and actually drive it around. I play Call of Duty because I'm never going to be an actual, secret operative going across the globe using high-end weaponry to take out other teams of operatives. Like, I can't do that in real life. That's why I play video games, to simulate those fantasy situations. I don't need a video game to simulate real-life situations that can really happen, that I could just do. And that's what this game seems to be, okay? Anyway, I was really disappointed because at the end of the stream, that happened, that whole cabin in the woods thing, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. Now we're out of time. If only they didn't waste my last 3 hours of playtime with bullshit, it would have been an interesting game. Like, no lie. The first stream was okay, and this last stream, they could have actually cut out the garage band segment and the walk in the woods segment and just cut right to the cabin, and the game would be a better game. But modern game direction is a joke, in my opinion, especially with what they're trying to do a lot of these games. We all know that these games are pushing agendas. This game in particular, it's trying to say, oh, this is a game for a different kind of person. This is supposed to be a game for either, gay curious or bisexual curious girls, and they can enjoy it because now they can feel like there's a game for them, and they're not ostracized for being who they are. And if that's the case, I actually don't care. Like, to me, I don't mind that. If the game exists and that's what its purpose is, then fine. But I don't know. It just they certainly didn't push it like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, from the trailers and everything, it was supposed to be a mystery. The friends are reuniting, and who is the mysterious person contacting them? Why do they have memory holes? That's what I want to know, the plot. I don't need 3 hours of fuller bullshit. And it made me bored to the point, I'm not kidding you, I was falling asleep. I was sitting here right here, actually trying to play the game, and I was nodding off like this, and people were laughing. I was like, I don't blame you. Dude, this game is so bad and so boring, I can't stay awake. So here, I'm gonna beat it next time we play it because it's only 7 hours supposedly, and we're around 5 hours in. But man, let me tell you right now, okay? Unless something really awesome happens in the last third of this tape one of this game, this will absolutely be the worst game I've ever played from Don't Nod. And that even includes Vampire, and that game was a broken piece of dog shit. At least it had gameplay and a fantasy setting that makes it worth playing. So I hope something interesting actually happens. okay, in this game that's interesting, rather than it being a, oh, liberal girl simulator. I don't care. You know, every other game they've made, there was a reason to play it, even if you didn't care about, like, do I care that Max in Life is Strange was bisexual? No, I don't give a shit. That's fine. They wrote the character like that, and I don't mind it because the game was interesting outside of that. It didn't matter. You know what I mean? Obviously, that character wasn't really written to appeal to me because I don't have interest in bisexual teenage women, but, at least there was time manipulation mechanics, murder mystery elements, things that made the game good. This game is just like, oh my God, it's still going and there's still nothing happening. Like, yikes. You're driving me nuts. Wake me up. I shouldn't have to have 3 cups of coffee to get through an hour of your game. You know what I mean? It's so bad. Anyway, so yeah, that's my initial impressions now. We're like I said, we're around 5 hours into the game. Dude, I am so bored, and I really hope that this last session of it is a good finale and makes it worth the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they say the journey is better than the end destination. In this case, I hope there's an end destination that was worth that journey because that journey was excruciating. All right? Okay. Now, in regards